Hello, good afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Real Woman of Cosplay, aka CK Brown, and I had a thought. In this world of cosplay, especially in the Blerd community, is there a difference between sexuality and sensuality? So I've gathered a diverse panel of women to discuss their experiences within the Blerd community, cosplay, and bleeding over into our everyday lives. And the topic, once again, sexuality versus sensuality. Let's start with a definition, shall we? Sexuality, the quality or state of being sexual, the condition of having sex, sexual activity, expression of sexual receptivity or interest, especially when excessive. Pretty interesting, isn't that? And now, sensuality, relating to or consisting in the gratification of the senses or the indulgence of appetite. Two different definitions. What is your thoughts? So, we've got these beautiful ladies together to help me discuss sexuality and sexuality, especially in the Blerd community and focusing on cosplay. So, that being said, I would love to introduce to you our beautiful, amazingly talented panel. We're going to start with Divas on a Dime.
So I'm Kendra and I'm Christy, and we're Divas on a Dime. We promote positivity, we enjoy cosplaying, and talk about all kinds of things nerdy. We also have a clothing line, Eclectic Eccentric. Anything else you know?
Oh, and then we also do a live show. A Nerd was born every Saturday.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Awesome and thank you. And now we go over to the prettiest otaku.
Yeah, I love how you say my name. You make me feel so special. But anyways, I'm the pretty Sataku. I'm a streamer, beginner cosplayer, queen of Studio Ghibli, queen nerd, all that good stuff. You know the vibes, like I said. But yeah, I stream on Twitch, and I also am an Instagram poster as well. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm a constant Instagram poster. Okay, but yeah, but that's me. So I'm a
Awesome.
little hyper.
We love it. We're here for it. Awesome and thank you. And
Mm.
now, here is one part of, see the lipstick I'm wearing? That's right, I'm rocking my Zuko from
Hey.
Geek Chic Cosmetics, the lovely Karina.
Hi. So my name is Karina. I'm on Instagram at Karina underscore Uzumami. I am one half of Geek Chic Cosmetics, which is an anime based makeup slash cosplay makeup brand that my sister and I started last year. Also beginner cosplayer and just a lover of all things really pretty.
She says beginner cosplayer.
Nothing but
I swear I am.
nothing
We
but
know the truth. We know the
We
truth.
know the truth. We know it.
And finally, but not least by any means, the most beautiful, amazing, regal cosplay Anne.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, Ann Willis, cosplay Ann41 on Instagram. My model is No One's Too Old for Cosplay. I've been cosplaying for almost a year now, and I'm excited to be here for today's conversation.
Yay.
Yay, and thank you. So, once again, just so you have some background on me, I'm Real Woman of Cosplay, aka CK Brown, aka Mother of Giants. I am an ex performer, sword fighter, cosplayer, and just an all around crazy absolute loon. So, that being said, I hope you enjoy our conversation. And please note, we are not going to have any definitive answers here, but we'll start the conversation. And hopefully, this is a conversation that continues to grow. That being said, one moment. So, one of the things I wanted to talk about, in especially this age of Instagram, where we're constantly doing photos of our various cosplays, is here's the question. What to you is sexuality? Anybody want to grab that?
I can jump in. I think
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. I think sexuality is about like your body image, maybe like how you want to look, or like your self-esteem, how you want to feel about yourself, and then you want to try some ways to exude that. I don't know if being sexy is the word because it's in sexuality, but I just think it's more about like self-esteem and body image. And when I looked up the definition of sexuality, and I saw that it was just like, it was like physical sex, and I'm like, no, that's not me. But yeah, I'm gonna say like it's, you know, something like more to do with body image and self-esteem. I don't know if that helps, but
You're on mute.
Oh no, she's muted.
You're mute.
I told you I'm not good with technology. So as I said, this is all about what it is to you.
yeah,
So it's not going to be exactly who Merriam-Webster says. I
Right.
never met Merriam-Webster. I don't know who they are.
Sure.
So, so the definitions can change. Crystal, you wanted to jump in on this?
Yeah, my own definition, I just kind of train off of Anne. The same thing. I just thought self-image, self-esteem, body image, just feeling good about yourself. I think the word sex is a little scary for people. And I think the word, if you put it together and put sexuality, they're gonna think sex, intercourse, physical. And I'm like, okay, It's not just that. It's about the feeling, the emotion, and all that stuff around involves with sex, in general. So it's not just sex and intercourse for me. It's just, body image, self-esteem, feeling good, feeling right, feeling like you could just get up for the day and be like, hey, I can do this. That's what I feel like sexuality is.
Cool. Anyone else want to jump in before I go to the next question?
Well, I would say I agree with Crystal and cosplay and too. And I know for me, like just with my cosplays, I always, like I said, cosplay characters I feel connected to. I am a heterosexual female and I do gender bender cosplays as well. I put my feminine touch on it. But yeah, like especially characters that are like badass. If I'm feeling badass, then I'm gonna cosplay that character and always put my spin on it as well. But I don't know, that's how I identify it. If that helps, I don't know.
Yeah.
Completely valid. So now, here's my next question. What to you ladies is sensuality? Anyone want to take the floor? Yeah.
Like,
this one was a little tricky here, and I definitely had to look it up because I always say, like, all my whole life I've been saying, like, I just want to be sensual, like, but what does that really mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I looked it up, and it mentioned the enjoyment of expression or the pursuit of physical. So I think for me, I think like I like the first part where it says the enjoyment of expression, because that describes me. Yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to express myself. So if you want to say sensual, I would say expression and loving doing it would be my definition.
Chrissy?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, they said Chrissy, my bad.
Yeah.
Christy. Okay. Go ahead.
I would say as far as sensuality, to me, I feel like it's more, and kind of to piggyback off of like what you're saying, cosplay, and is like the emotional aspect of it, like how you feel in that cosplay. So, I mean, and there's certain cosplays that maybe I may not feel comfortable doing per se, just because that character is innately like, like has like a maybe a more like revealing like persona. And I put my own spin on it to where I feel comfortable cosplaying that character. And also just you in the cosplay so you feel attractive and things like that. And I mean, if someone else happens to be attracted to you, or specifically maybe that character and not you per se, that's something else. But that's what it means to me.
Karina, any thoughts?
Yes, sensuality to me has always been more of the like overindulgence of all of the senses, the taste, the feels, the sees, things like that. At least in my book, that's always been like sensuality. So I guess I have considered myself to be more of a sensual person versus sexual. Sexual always felt like it was like a bad thing, and you know what I mean. It always gets associated with being promiscuity. So I've always identified more with sensuality than sexuality.
Gotcha. And Crystal?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I wrote a little bit of notes, so I'm just gonna look down real quick. My definition of sensuality is the same thing y'all ladies were saying. It's more of an emotion thing, and it's like an obsession with something. Not really like a big obsession, but like saying like I have a sensuality with food. I know that don't make sense, but I have a sensuality with food. I enjoy food. I love food. I love talking about food. That's what sensuality is, and I think people get that confused, and they be like, they mix it up with sexuality, or they put it intertwined with each other. So I think that's what people get confused at. But sensuality to me is just indulge, like a guilty pleasure. That's what I feel like a sensuality thing is. It's like a guilty pleasure of something, or enjoying something that you really love.
Right. It's as you say that, you mentioned food. I'm thinking of Food Wars.
Yes.
Food Wars is the definition of sensual.
Yes.
But they did put a touch of sexual.
No, a lot of sexual. Not touch.
I only got through 2 episodes of it. I always revert to this. I was like, she ate the food and she was in a sauna, nature sauna with a gorilla. And I was like, what? But yeah, there is that visceral, innate expression and feeling you get when something just like it just makes you tingle from within. Just really quickly, for me, I've always been about sensuality. Now, it could be because I am of a certain age, and any kid who grew up with, hip parents in the 70s, there were certain books that were always in your house. You were not allowed to read them, but they were there. And one of them was More Joy, The Joy of Sex, The Sensual Man and Sensual Woman, and the Encyclopedia of Sex.
And Jackie Collins' books.
Yeah. And so all of these books, so of course I'm all like, I hated to read, but I was like, oh, what's all this? Mind you, certain things didn't happen into my life until I was legally an adult, because I was busy reading that book going, oh no, oh my God, no. So, but sensuality for me has always been an innate quality. As I say, you can wear a burlap sack, and it's in how you move. If you've ever, coming from a dance background, Bob Fosse is a choreographer, and all of his moves are so sensual. And it's not about the boom. It's in the the smallest movements that just accentuate. So that being said, so we've discussed what sexuality is for us and sensuality. Now, how would you ladies say this relates to women of color in the Blerd community, first dealing with print and film, which is, 2D, it's there, not tangible, you can't reach out and touch it. And then how it comes into our cosplay world. So basically, do you find, how do you feel for yourself when you put on a cosplay? Do you feel more that it's a sexy thing or a sensual thing? Or is it neither? Is it just you doing the character?
Yeah, I would say it's neither for me. I think it's just about the character because that's where you like put on the acting skills and try to channel that character and jump in and just enjoy the moment of what that character portrays when you watch them. At least for me. Yeah.
Right. Anyone else?
Totally agree with that.
I agree too.
Mhm.
So how do you, I'm going to ask this question. How do you ladies feel about how we, especially women of color, I mean, this is an issue for women all over. Women of color specifically depicted in print, mostly in the comic books and whatever. And before I opened that discussion up, this was a quote from my then 15-year-old son as we're walking through Artist Alley at New York Comic Con. 15 years old, male, hetero child. Trust me, I kept asking. Hetero child. What is with the over-sexualization of the women in the drawings? Now, this is a 15-year-old male. Notice that. So I'm going to ask, because supposedly we're the ones they're depicting, right? What are your feelings on that?
I'm gonna just say from an animation standpoint, just going off of that, the animation standpoint of how they over sexualize women, they need to get over it. We have boobs, we got butt, we gonna show it off. Like if y'all want to take it that way and y'all want to take it in a sexual matter, if y'all want to put y'all mind in the gutter, that's y'all. You know, we have a beautiful body. Women are beautiful. You know, we are strong. Our bodies are strong. You know what I'm saying? If they want to draw that, if they want to put it out there, then let them put it out there. You know what I'm saying? But it is a limit as well. Because we're not talking about hentai now. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking
We're talking
that's
about
a whole different
straight up
story.
go to
We're
the
not
corner
talking about
store.
Bloody Black and all that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, you know, just the regular, like, let's say Wonder Woman. You know, sometimes they over-sexualize Wonder Woman sometimes because they're like, why does she have to have a corset? And why does she have to be shaped like that? Or why does she have to have her thing like that? I'm like, she's badass. What you talking about? Like, okay, just be honest. Would y'all buy a comic book with Wonder Woman on it, or would you buy a comic book with a librarian sitting there with a turtleneck and a long dress? Which one you gonna buy first? Which one you're gonna be more drawn to first? And I think that's where men get confused at too. It's like when they look at the comic book cover or the anime cover, which one y'all really gonna pick? Come on now, stop complaining. Like, just get the book, keep it moving, keep it pushing, and let them do them. You know, it's not all like intercourse type thing, you know.
Right.
So, and I think that's where their mind first go to when they see stuff like that.
Right. It's funny you mentioned Wonder Woman because she was a bit of a fetish character.
Mhm.
If you read about her creation.
Yeah.
So like that whole lasso of truth, I was like, yeah, I know what that's all about.
Yep.
But the other thing is because it's mostly men that are creating this.
Yeah.
You know,
That's their fantasy.
so yeah, it's their fantasy, and it's all about this is a new term I have learned, the male gaze.
Mhm.
The male gaze. So my wondering is, do you think that the people who are creating the content, this is before we even get into the cosplay yet, do you think the people who are creating the content should sort of get out of this notion of double D's, the smallest waist humanly possible, like Barbie, and these thick can feed, you know, a family of 4 at Christmas thighs with these little tiny feet. And
I
yet,
can't.
at the same time, with those proportions, be able to wield the sword, do all of this. I mean, do you think perhaps there is some responsibility on the creators to go, you know what? let's stop doing this?
I would say in a perfect world, yes, but it gets to the point where it's the simple statement, sex sells, right?
Right.
And
Yep,
that's,
that's where I was going with that.
yeah, it's like, that's literally what it is. I don't want to jump ahead of the question,
No, no,
CK,
no,
because
don't.
I know you had mentioned about the cosplay, but
Dive
that,
right
okay, that always bothers me in the back of my mind with the sex sells, like, in the way I do cosplay, it's just like, I don't need to do anything to, you know, try to look that way, or I'm just dressing like the character that I see. I don't feel like I need to show anything. Is it for attention? Do you like to do it because, you know, you want attention or you want the likes? It's not about that for me. It's just that even though I know that sex sells, just like, I'm not going to give that to you. I'm still going to be, I guess now I can use the word sensual. I'm going to be like a sensual person about it. Yeah, now, you know, now I can be, I'm just going to express myself and be sensual about it.
Right. And so dealing with the cosplay, our bodies as women of color tend to be different.
Mhm.
We tend to have more deposits of fat, if you will, in certain areas so that it gives us a specific kind of shape. So that when we wear something of our paler counterparts, it does fit us a bit different. So, that being said, do you find in doing your cosplays that you sort of switch up how it's done for how you're presented? Because so the question would be, do you want to present yourself as, you know, for lack of a better term, here boys, look at me? Or, you know, do you want to be like, I just want to stay true to the character and enjoy myself? And, you know, is there a point where you go, okay, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it, or post the pictures that way? Or are you very aware of what you're looking like and what you're putting out there?
Yeah, I would say like I'm always aware of my audience. I have to remember I got
Yeah.
church, I'm church girl. You know, I grew up in church. I got to make sure the elders and the pastors and the missionaries don't see this. Do you know what I mean? Like if they do look at it, it's not anything where it's judgmental, where it's like, you know, I have to remember like with my parents and how I was raised. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Were
no,
you gonna say
go ahead.
something? Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, being raised under the Bible Belt, I think this is how it spills over to me in real life when I cosplay, or it spills over this way because when I cosplay, I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, you know, people are looking at this. And then what type of image do you want to portray? What do you want to be known for? And it's conservative for me. It's always been. And I think that's because I was growing up in church and I just always had to be covered and had to wear pants and, you know, do all the rules and everything. Like, yeah, now I'm free and I can be who I want. But in the back of my mind, since it was like so ingrained there, it like haunts me, and it just be like, you better remember that elder so-and-so looking at this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, go ahead, Divas on a Dime, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I actually feel the same way. Like you were saying, you never know who's watching, and like some people may not consider themselves role models, but we have children that are on IG looking, and you may not realize that, but they're looking, and it's nothing offense to the girls that do the lewds. But like I said, there's kids looking at that, and let's just be like real. Would you want like a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old seeing that, and they're like, oh, I want to be like her. I want to be pretty and wear something like that. It's revealing. It's just like, no, I think it could be done. This is my opinion. I feel like anybody that wants to do lewd cosplays, that's fine. But I feel like keep your page on private or just keep it on OnlyFans only. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Right. Karina?
You know, I always ask myself, what type of reaction would I want before I post something? Because I find it hilarious that women are always complaining about the thirsty DMs that they get.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what were you expecting to get when you turned around in the G-string and you were twerking? What were you expecting to get, honey? is you weren't looking for the thirst traps or the unsolicited dick pics. Like that's not what you were asking for. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like you have
You
to
asked for that shit.
yeah, for every action, there's a greater equal reaction. So you have to really be cognizant of what was the reaction I was going for posting X, Y, and Z pic. And I know for me as being a new cosplayer, because I have a 7-year-old, I have an 8-year-old girl that are looking at me. They called me yesterday when I was glowing bright pink, like, mommy, why are you pink today? You know what I mean? So, and the next question was, can I be pink too? No. So, I mean, I have someone's who's watching everything that I do. So it's important that if I'm posting that, what reaction am I expecting? Right. You know, if my girl saw this and they brought this to me, would I be like, oh yeah, that's fine? You know what I mean? Like, right. And I'm not saying that it's someone else's responsibility to raise my kids, because it's not, but right. I'm a mom, I've got kids. I wouldn't want my kids to just stumble upon that. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't. So it's always there in the back of my mind, just, what kind of reaction what am I going for here with this?
Right. And this is not to say, I want to make it abundantly clear. Mm-hmm. This is not to say that for the women that do, I call it adult themed cosplay, just because the term lewd to me just is such a derogatory term to begin with. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to call it that. I will say adult themed because it is made for the adult gaze. That being said, I just lost the point that I was going to make, but I know for myself, I have 2 sons, and I've been cosplay. I mean, honestly, I started cosplaying. I got hired to cosplay back in 1999. Was my first con that I attended in Kentucky, where I got hired to play Storm in the whole white spandex. Now, this was before children, so I had a body that I was kind of proud of. Yes! But I was still pissed that it was the white spandex. I hated that white spandex. I was like, why they put her in white? You can't hide anything. and this was before Spanx was a thing. So yeah. And it was there that I was like, oh, okay. Here I am thinking, I'm already just about 6 feet with no shoes on. So I had on like 5-inch platform heels. So there I am walking around the convention and thinking I'm here for the kids.
Baby.
It was all the dads. And I was like, what?
Right.
That was a learning point for me. And now, fast forward, I've got 2 sons. I personally will not go to a con in a cosplay unless they sign off on it. And it's because for me, I feel that I am responsible for what I put out there of me, because I don't want it to come back on them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want their friends scrolling Instagram and going, yo, that's your mom. Yo, your mom is like Stifler's mom. And when I was younger, I used to think it was cool to, sorry about that. Wonder Woman is my ringtone. When I was younger,
unintended.
We love Wonder Woman. We stand Wonder Woman. It's okay.
When I was younger, I the idea of being Stifler's mom, the hot mom, was cool until you have children, and then you go, no. Just the thought of it, So, I do believe that, especially as women, especially as Black women, we are already, as soon as we come out of the womb, there are judgments on us. There is a woman back in, I want to say, the late 1800s, known as Venus. and I want to say Sarah Hottentot.
Mm-hmm.
Her body was put on display because of she had this, she had all of that going on, she had this, and we as Black women have not shaken that image of us, and
I
it's
wanted
Betty.
to, my bad.
No, go ahead, please.
My bad. Before I lose my train of thought, because I'm so forgetful with stuff.
No.
But like chiming off of that too, like I'm kind of on the fence with. I agree with Kendra said, and I agree with Cosplay Ann said too, and you too. I'm on like on two different perspectives. Like I agree with Kendra with the OnlyFans thing. Like
Yes.
keep that somewhere else. Like if you're gonna do that, like keep it somewhere else. And I agree with Karina too, because you know what you're putting out there, and then they're gonna get mad because they hitting you up. And I'm like, but you know like I hate the females that post on Instagram stories and be like, I got a new bag of chips today, but their boobs is all right here. And I'm like, are we talking about the chips or you want to show your boobs? Like which one you want to show?
Maybe it's
Like,
the
I can't
chocolate
say that.
chips.
And then you get mad when somebody hits you up. And I'm like, how you mad somebody hitting you up? This is what you presented. You could have just shown me the bag of chips. But instead, you wanted to put all your breasts in there, all your boobs in there, all your cleavage, and say, hey, I got a bag of chips.
Right.
It's a way to do shit. And that shit lame anyway. Like,
Right.
if you gonna show it, sweetie, go to OnlyFans, like go sign up, subscribe,
Yes.
whatever.
Keep
it off Instagram. I don't want to see that shit
sport.
all the time.
Right.
Do you, but do it somewhere else.
Right.
I just remembered the point I was going to make.
Go, say it.
Before I lose it, I'm sorry. Granted, for the women that do, for whatever reason they do, it still does not justify anybody that has outward plumbing to go into their DMs for any reason.
Yeah.
And I wish this was not even something that we had to discuss, because I wish we were in a world where I could walk down the street naked, go buy my jar of pickles, and come back home and not one person say a damn thing to me.
That's what I'm saying.
I would love, but that is not, we have to
We don't live there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are not in that world.
But let's be real. Everything gets sexualized. Everything gets sexualized. Like you said, you could just go down the street. Hey, she got fat ass. Like, I'm just wearing pajamas, dude. Damn. Like, why do you have to look at like that? Like, let's just be real. Everything is sexualized. I salute the women that sexualize themselves. I can't do it right now. I got a crazy husband, but it's cool. But I salute the people that do it, and the people that's listening into. We're not saying don't do it at all. Right. We're just saying don't do it so often enough that it gets sickening that we're like, okay, we know what your body looks like now. And by this point, we know where your birthmark at on your thigh by now because you show it all the time. You feel me? So that's how.
No, but I didn't mean to. Oh no, she froze. But that's why.
She froze. There she is. She's back.
Okay.
Me?
I was going to say something, but no, I was going to say this discussion is good because we're educating everybody about it. Because people that are finding out about cosplay, a lot of times they see that like the adult themed cosplay, especially for Black women, and then they assume that that's all that
they got to do. That's what they got to do.
Right.
That's what they got to do.
To get when you actually go to cons, this is really prevalent at New York Comic Con cosplay, and I think you've been to New York Comic Con as well.
Sure. Yeah.
When you go to some of these bigger cons that draw, I call it the con paparazzi.
Mm-hmm.
And you see these photographers, and some of them make me like, I want to spray them with sanitizer because they're just so, and it's majority male photographers, which I'm sitting there going, why is that? And who are they drawn to? The women who are dressed like Vampirella. I'm going to state this right now. If you want to fight me, I will give you my address and come fight me.
And then come by my house so I can swing on you too.
I hate that Vampirella costume.
I do. It's awful.
Hate
It's
it.
A cut
terrible.
around the whole inside.
Let me look it up
of
real
the
quick.
woman.
I
Bruh, I
hate it.
hate that.
And I
fucking
understand that that's how she is drawn. However, if you ever watch ice skating or you ever watch a drag show or you look at a wedding dress, you know there's that beautiful mesh that you can add to it. But no, like I
Right.
said, I will give you my address. Come fight me. I'm letting you know right now, I have swords. And a cast iron frying pan that I use as a weapon. I'm just putting that out there. But
100% agree with Auntie, bro. Like, I agree with Auntie 100%. I hate that. I've never been to a convention. This is perspective for somebody that never been to a convention. And I hate that cosplay because every time when I see it, I'm like, really? Out of all the great characters
Could
out
have been
there,
anybody. You could have been
out of
anybody.
anybody in the fucking universe, all the universes of universes, you're gonna pick her.
right.
That.
Karina, really quickly, and then go to Christy.
Yeah.
Can that even be considered a cosplay? I don't even see anything there.
Honestly, it's a swimsuit.
A scarf.
Okay.
It is a red scarf. It's a scarf.
A scarf with a collar.
Oh my God. Christy.
So I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of like what everyone was saying. But, you know, I think what's good about the community is that there are more younger and younger fans that are getting into the fandom, which is good. But however, like I would say there is a little bit of backlash as far as with social media reaching vast number of people, and
Mhm.
especially with, you know, with the more adult themed cosplays being like at the forefront, those get the most views, the most
Mhm.
likes.
The algorithm.
It does.
That's
And
the algorithm.
it is a misinterpretation, I feel like, as far as what cosplay is about. And I feel like, especially with young, impressionable children, male or female, that are still developing their sexuality, it kind of gives like a very simplified version of what it means as an individual, a person. And starting off, especially like with like young girls at an early age, especially Black girls, we're sexualized, you know, victimized at an early age. Some of us, you know, commonly with sexual assault, things like that. And also with like, you know, young boys, like understanding, you know, to respect a female's body, also understanding like the idea of consent and all those sort of things. And I think it kind of bleeds into some of like the, I guess like the ills in society, if you want to say it that way, as far as
Yes.
how women are viewed and treated. So there's more to us. We have more to offer.
Yeah.
society than
Yeah,
our
it's more to us.
Like I always say, I'm thinking of Two-Face cosplay and how
Yes.
she does the
Does the
build.
shit.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, she's gonna end up on Face Off because she's doing all the molding and the how you call it, the makeup, but there's a specific name for effects makeup.
Special effects.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, the FX makeup.
And I'm like, that's freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's my girl right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet I do wonder, as Chrissy, I think you mentioned with the social media and the backlash, social media allowed me to meet all of you wonderful people. The backlash of social media is if I post my Chewy cosplay, because I did not realize just how boobage it was until, because I'm sorry, I will forever be the ugly, skinny girl that I'd be the friend. I was the dumb.
We
I was
ain't
the
hearing that.
ugly.
God,
But no,
we are
but
not
this-
hearing that shit. You might as well delete, control, alt, delete that sentence because you are
Retract
not
that statement.
You is
But
not.
you know what it is? But you know what it is? It is the deep thing that's in it. It's like if I'm playing a character, then my character will walk in there like, yes, I am here. And you will take in all of this. But if I'm just me, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Okay, I'm here.
Okay.
Give me a beer and it's all good. And I remember because I had one friend that saw it, a male friend, and they were like, oh my God, dress up like that again. I was like, nope, not doing it again. Nope. If I do it, I'm changing it up. Why? I am a tall woman. And if I wear heels, I realize exactly where everyone is looking. And
Perfect shot.
and I'm sitting there going, and I'm even trying to make the Chewbacca noise and be all funny with it, and going up to anyone that's just like Han Solo and just like being like, oh, you know, all, and you know, and I'm like, because that's not what I'm putting out. Yes. Do we all want to be attractive? Yeah. Hi, Gizmo.
Gizmo always have to make an appearance. I love Gizmo.
Do we all want to be attractive and seen as attractive? Yes. But do we want to be seen as this is the whole store in the inventory?
Right.
No.
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 Yeah.
Yet, you know, I mean, it's dicey, I think. And also, I worry with social media because Navy Montel always goes on about people wanting likes, people wanting likes, people wanting likes.
They want that clout real bad.
Yep.
And I'm like,
It's so bad.
and it disturbs me that a lot of, now granted, as was mentioned, you put it on your private, you put it on your Patreon, you put it on your OnlyFans. Look, I will donate to your OnlyFans because I am not a, well, okay, sometimes I'm approved, but I am not approved in the sexual arena where that is what you are selling. That is what you are promoting. You are promoting the fantasy of you can, it's like strippers. They are
Right.
promoting the fantasy of, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? But at the end of the day, the strippers are like, the guys are all like, oh, she likes me. And I'm like, no, honey, she just likes the green paper.
She
in
likes
your
the
wallet."
money. She want the coin. She don't give
Did
a
her
fuck about
job
you. She give a-
well.
She
She
want
did
the
her job.
coin.
I'm
That's
like,
her job.
I'm
That
like,
is her job.
right. And, you know, so it's just that when I see it out of that arena, I know I have a visceral reaction to it. And it's not slut shaming or anything. There's a reason when we all go to the restroom, a public restroom, there's a reason we go into a stall and close the door.
Right.
That's a good point.
It's natural. We all have to go. If you don't go, maybe you're not human. But we all have to go. And yet, there is a door when we have to go. If we somehow come to a stall that doesn't have a door, we look for one that does have a door. So basically just saying there's certain things that, yeah, for outside, and certain things, no, they do need to be behind a gate. You know,
Yeah, I agree with you, CK. One thing I wanted to mention too is that I just don't like how it spills over into Instagram. So for example, you know, you have these girls that dress do the adult themed stuff. And I just use an example without naming names, but I have like, there's one female that, you know, follows me. I follow her. Her cosplays are amazing. She always compliments me on mine. And I was just surprised because her work is amazing. And then when you click on the links, it's like, go to my fan only page if you want to see the goods. And I'm like, no, don't ruin your reputation. It's looking like you're so good at the cosplay. Like, please don't turn it into that. But that's what it is. And I was kind of disappointed. Like, you know, I know it's my opinion, but I was so disappointed in her because I was like, you are doing an amazing job with actually doing cosplay, without having to be like, click here for $4, you know, if you want to see. And I was like, oh man. So that like changed my perspective. But what I want to say is with that, is that the difference like with me and her is like, we'll do the same cosplays. And because of how she does them, like and it's not about the likes for me, but just to make a point.
right.
She'll get 253 likes and mine's still at 66 and it's been up for 11 hours. And, you know, and I have like so many people following me and we have the same number count that are following.
Right.
And she's already at 253 in 30 minutes and mine is like 11 hours later, you're still at 63. So I'm like, I'm not saying like I'm envious or jealous because I don't believe in that. I'm not any of that. It's just the fact that it's proof that sex sells because that's how she's doing it.
Right.
And I just want to tell her, like, just take the fan only page on. But hey, you know, then I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll say, like, you know, this is their bread and butter, this is the money they make. And I'm not knocking anybody that does that. You gotta do what you gotta do, you gotta get your hustle on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But please, like, let's just separate the two. So like with Divas on a Dime, yes, I think it should just be, yeah, just keep it separate, private, whatever. And then like, can we all just get along in this community of cosplay? Like, can we all do it conservatively and nice and I don't know, but
Sadly.
There
that's
is
how it
some
is.
nice cosplayers. Not every cosplayer show their boobs and not every
Right.
cosplayer show their abs. Like, I don't know. I think it's the conventions too that
Yeah.
put that perspective as well. Because if you look up on YouTube right now and look up convention interviews, what you're gonna see? Tell me what you're really gonna see. You're gonna see a Poison Ivy, a Vampirella, whatever. I don't
Harley
really want to say
Quinn.
her name no more because no. But you know, you see the Poison Ivies, you see the Wonder Womans, not the
Right.
Wonder Woman, but like the Wonder Womans. And that's all you see. That's all you see is those two bikini top, you know, I'm gonna just keep it real, white women. That's all you see on the interviews. And that's all you see. And it gets on my nerves because it's no different sizes. It's no different styles. It's not a twist to it. And those are the gatekeepers as well of cosplay.
Yes,
Let's just call
yes.
them out real quick. Because
That's
those
true.
are the ones that be like, oh, I have to look like the character. I have to look exactly like it. Bitch, I want to put my own twist to it. Excuse my language. I want to put my own twist. Who wants to be dull and boring and be just like the character? Like, who wants to do that? Let's be unique. Let's be different. It's not even about the color no more. Like, let me be unique. If my color is green, let my color be green and let me wear my outfit the way I would want to wear it. And another point that I want to get out with the cosplaying thing, it's levels to cosplaying too. And a lot of people don't understand that there's closet cosplaying, there's slight cosplaying, there's Disney bounding, there's cartoon bounding, there's cosplay. It's not just adult cosplaying. And I think conventions really convince that. And I excuse conventions, but for me, because when I came on the cosplay scene, I only saw that. So that's all I saw. And I was like, damn, do I really want to cosplay? Because I'm not, my fat ass ain't wearing no bikini. I'm not wearing a bikini wig. No, I'm not doing that. You know, until I met you guys, you know, when I started getting more social into the Blerd community, then that's when y'all start showing me, is this, is that. You don't have to look like the character. You don't have to have the same exact wig. And that's why I had a problem with cosplaying at first, because I just thought it had to be like that. And I was scared because I was like, I don't want to show my football. No, I want to keep my football in. No, I want to be, no, I just want to be the character.
Kendra, you had something?
Oh, yeah, I was agreeing with Crystal and Cosplay but it's sad because a lot of adult themed cosplayers we follow and talk to, and they're very nice.
We love
And
them.
we love them, but it's sad. Like they have the adult themed cosplays and they get so many likes, and then they may do like a cosplay where it's a little, they're more covered up and it doesn't get that many likes. So I feel like they feel like they're boxed in and they have to keep creating that type of content in order to get the likes. And I feel sad for them because it's like, you're more than that. Like, if you want to do other cosplays, go for it. You don't have to keep doing the same type of content just for the likes. And then also, too, some guys, because we discussed it last night, we're getting like DMs, some guys telling us that we need to start doing lewds. We should do lewds. And it's like, we don't.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Let me know that. Don't do that. Let me know that.
I'm sorry, but are they built like Jason Momoa and they gonna send you some nudes?
Exactly. And you know what? It be the fat Alberts that be having something to fucking say. And I be like, damn, y'all not even satisfied with your fucking self, but you want to come at me and be like, oh, I need to wear this, I need to wear that. I'm like, what the fuck you wearing? What
It's
you
the
showing
Princess
me?
Leia. It's the slave Leia thing.
Yeah.
Slave Leia thing. Oh my God. How many? And I know he uses this term. I personally hate this term because I'm just like, not all virgins are from the basement. And some of them just in this economy can't move out from their parents' house, right? But we all know who they are.
They know who they is.
I call them the Jabba the Hutts that are sitting there
I like
with
that
the
one too.
tongue
Yeah,
waving out of their mouths, you know, going, oh, why is she wearing that? She needs to lose 10 pounds. I'm like, you need to lose another person.
Right. I'm saying, like, look at your self-image before you judge me of what I'm wearing.
Exactly.
How about that? Don't sit. And then it's real sad that you sit up there, wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, wash your face just to type up my outfit that I wore.
Now you're assuming they brushed their teeth.
I'm about to say they ain't did none of that. They ain't did
Let's
none
be
of that.
real.
Oh, I'm being nice now, yeah.
They rolled over and just started typing.
There we
Yeah, they
go.
was like, oh.
Just right by the bed.
They maybe scratched a little bit and then started typing.
Man, I had this one guy on Apex typing, not on the mic, typing his ass off, talking about I'm a bitch, all this stuff, you need to come get me. They get serious on the game now. That's from a streamer's perspective. They get serious. They get real serious and real down and dirty with the fucking game, especially when they hear a female voice.
Mhm.
Oh, they turn up their fucking nuts up. I swear to God, they just be like, oh, it's a female. I'm like,
I'm
y'all
sorry.
don't gotta do all that. Like, y'all don't have to do that.
My son talks, like, I told him, I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a discussion, we're gonna record it and roll it up about, because he just really hates the way male gamers go after female gamers.
I cannot stand that.
And my whole thing is, and I will say this to the day I die, what does your penis have to do with doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing. Even if you're
Say
one of
it
those people
again,
that's like
auntie.
this. What, they gotta talk.
We both got hands. There's nothing different. My hands are rated E for everyone. Like the fuck, like it's for everybody.
Rated
My
E
hands
for
are
everyone.
fucking. What the fuck are you talking about? My hands is what we controlling. We're controlling. We're not controlling. We're controlling. Oh my God.
Wow.
It's so,
Oh wait,
This
I'm sorry. If you're on a PC,
Yeah.
And then they can't even type that fast. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get a mic. Get a mic if you're going to threaten me. If you're going to say something to me, get a mic.
like I say, I'll give you my address. I am warning you of what's in the house. Just let you know.
Yeah, I just hate it. I really hate it.
Yeah, it sucks that I think women just there's so much crap we have to deal with, period, out there, out in the world. There's a reason why at work I had to change how my name is shown and how I introduce myself to my initials, because dealing with international clients, some of the male clients, as soon as they see a female name in an email, decide to act a different way. So it's not just in the gaming world.
Yeah.
It's world over. And it's worse that this is our refuge. This is
Mhm.
this is our fun. Why they feel the need to harsh our fun? Why? Yes, please.
Because you just like a light bulb went off in my brain when you were talking about international. So just to piggyback off of that, like also too, like with like the social media, like, you know, that doesn't just like restrict us to here. I mean, we're all in the US, but just like, you know, internationally, like you were saying. And I mean, for like maybe somebody that's like in like a country that's like, you know, like more homogenous, they're not maybe exposed to like Black people, and then especially Black women, and what they're coming across is, you know, just very, and I mean that's just one aspect of that person, of their person, you know what I mean? But
Yes.
seeing women on there, you know, with revealing clothing, gyrating, twerking. And so maybe, you know, a regular old Joe like us wearing regular clothes, we go over there for like a vacation or trip. That person has seen that imagery, and that's what they see in their head. That's their understanding of what it means to be a Black woman. So they're touching us, they're grabbing us, and they're thinking that's okay and that it's warranted, that we want that sort of, you know, reception.
Right. And it's so
I love
interesting.
I love that.
It's so interesting how
1 minute. Can I smoke on here? Because my husband was asking. Okay. All right. One second.
but what I was gonna say
Love
is
Chrissy.
it's so interesting how outside of our Blerd community, you'll have people who say, oh yes, you can't treat us like that, can't treat us like that, can't treat us like that. You know, we are more than this, you know, we are more than just thugs, we are more than just, you know, we are more than just rappers or thugs or gang members or this, that. You'll say that in the outside world, yet within our very own community, within our cosplay community, you're not so quick to say, oh, we are more than just our TNA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the thing is and granted, I get TNA. I am a woman that appreciates a woman's body. We have beautiful bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do. We have gorgeous bodies. I just don't need to, I personally do not need to see the same stuff that, quite honestly, I'm like, well, I could just look in the mirror and take off my clothes and see that. I mean, and some people will be like, well, yeah, XYZ, XYZ. And I'm like, yes. And if I have roles, that's why I wear corsets to create it, you know? And it's so important. I think, especially with social media, we are constantly telling our young Black women, constantly telling them that they are so much more, that they are smart, they are kind, they are beautiful, and yet the community as a whole gives this specific adult image so much more likes. And I'm like, my big question is, how do we change that? It's bad enough we get it from out there. If I have one more vanilla person ask me about twerking, I am old. I cannot twerk. I'm like, I try to do it once and I'm like, oh my God, I've thrown my back out.
or you look back and nothing's happening.
And I'm like, am I doing it? Am I doing it? You know? And I'm like, we do have to take responsibility of what we are putting out there of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to treat us like queens, or in my case, I like to be treated like an empress or a goddess. Just saying. You know, I have to put out, we have to take responsibility of what we put out of ourselves. And to get, you know, to get the accolades, to get the respect, so that we don't get, I am fortunate, I don't know why it is. I don't get those wonky DMs. I just get those spam DMs that are trying to send me porn.
Yeah. And then they put me in a group chat and shit with a whole bunch of other porn people. I'm like, what, who are y'all? Where y'all found me?
I clicked on that once and I was like, oh my God.
Right. I was like, hell
I was like, first of all, that's not my porn site, but you know. And
why are you coming to my page with it? Does my page scream out porn? Like,
yeah.
Why do y'all think that it's okay to, hey, I hate the ones that be like, hey girly, if you buy the shipping and handling of this lingerie, you can model it and be our brand ambassador. I'm like,
I'm good.
no.
Yeah. I am a person, I'm like, I don't need to be a brand ambassador. I buy what I like. I support people. I'm like, I'm not asking for anything. I'm like, I want to support you, build you up so that you can continue and flourish. I don't tell me, hey, be a brand ambassador and buy this stuff that I would never ever buy to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just gotta point out something about Instagram too. What happened to the old Instagram? Because Instagram used to be like Facebook. And I think, you know what happened? That sexuality came in, you know, I said everybody trying to be grown. And then all of a sudden it turned into a business aspect too, which shout out to all the business people, you know, woo-woo. But you know, every single thing is an ad or something sexual or something promoting or something is, I'm like,
Or both.
or
Yeah.
both
Right,
at the
right.
same time.
And
I'm
it's-
like, that's not all I want to see. What happened to my family and friends? What they doing on Sunday? Like,
it,
you know,
it-
that's what Instagram used to be. We didn't have stories. We didn't have Snapchat. We didn't have that shit. Like, it's just weird for me because I'm like, now
It's-
going into Instagram, I'm like, what is all this shit? I'm like, I thought it was just to communicate with friends and family and to network, not to, I gotta buy something, or I gotta promote something, I gotta be a business person.
Right.
And I think sexuality kind of ties in with that too, because a lot of women, younger women, between like maybe 15 and my age or something, that's the years that people get confused. It's from 15 to 20 something. Those are the confusing years.
I
So
call
y'all
them-
displaying, y'all displaying that on Instagram. They're gonna be like, yeah, I need to be like that. Like with this Birkin conversation, with this, I gotta get my nails done, I gotta have my hair done. I'm like, why do y'all want 2 cars, a house? Excuse me, but why do y'all want 2 cars, a house, 2 dogs, 3 kids, and y'all 18? Why do y'all feel like there's goals? Why do y'all feel like that's the only thing in life? It's okay to be different. And I'm gonna piggyback just quickly, but I'm gonna piggyback off what CK said too, Auntie. She said something about when younger females look at other people and grab that same attention, like how you saying your daughter was like, I want to be pink too. Like it's a thing, you know, you have to put yourself out there respectfully and you will get respected, you know. And then I hate the ones that show out and then they be like, I want to be respected. I'm like, how you going to be respected if that's what you're showing? You're not even showing a post of a plate of food, but you're showing your boobs. Like, I don't get it.
And the thing is that it's the double-edged sword of the freedom to, I want to put it all out there, but I'm like, at the same time, we are in a society that when you put it all out there, you are upset if people are judging you. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's, we are not in a society where they're cool with it yet. We're not there yet. We are not in the society where I can be naked with all my rolls hanging out to go get my pickles at the C-Town. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there at all. There's
we're not gonna
a
be
lot
there
of conservative people there, including myself. I have a conservative side too to that as well, because like I said, keep it separate, keep it your business. I don't want to see your business and see what you got going on. Like, just keep it separate.
Right. And Instagram is not a silo.
Yes, I agree.
People from your job can find your Instagram.
That's
Oh my God. Yes.
Right.
Because if jobs are like, oh, so do you have social media? And they make it sound like, oh, because then, you know, maybe you could have connections. No, they want to see what you're doing. And they will go through, find this, then find this, and find that. So, because we've hit the hour mark, and there were 2 other things I wanted to touch on. Is it different for us ladies of color than it is for our not so melanated counterparts? Do you think there are different rules?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because I feel like with Black women, when they cosplay, they get a little more. I'm trying to put the words together and not sound so harsh about it, but they get a little more trashed on than a vanilla. I'm gonna say vanilla. Than a vanilla person. You feel what I'm saying? Because with a vanilla person, a lot of vanilla people agree and be like, yeah, that look exact. Sorry, I had a phone call, but they look exactly like the character. Oh my God, you're killing it. Blah blah blah. But that Black girl can do the same shit, same wig, same outfit. They will not have the same love. That's all I gotta say. I ain't gotta explain it. Y'all know what I mean by that. They can have the same outfit, and I've witnessed this too on Instagram. Like, I look at I looked at a vanilla woman, you know, with a cosplay, 2,000, 3,000 likes. Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, just like the character. I look at another cosplayer, same outfit, same wig, same everything, basically, just the makeup different, you know, because we different around here.
Right.
But you know, I looked at that and I was just like, 60 likes, 40 likes. Why are you wearing that wig? Is that your real hair? Is that your real boobs? Or why are your butt out? I'm like, damn. But that bitch had the same outfit on though. I don't get it.
that's
It's a
true.
whole difference. So
Right. I believe you ladies, the divas, didn't you have somebody like comment on one of your posts?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we had quite a few. I had cosplayed Lily from Tekken. She's, a French girl. And I couldn't sleep. I was up like at 2 in the morning, and then I saw the comment. I'm gonna use Crystal's term, a vanilla person said,
Yes.
"What kind of monkey is that?" I was like,
Right.
oh my god! I so wanted to go back, but I was like, I'm not even gonna go back and forth with this troll. Like, but
Yeah. They ain't
we,
got no life.
yeah, we get the
They
racist
don't.
comments. Then I cosplayed Yuno for Future Diary. It was some people from like Europe saying you ruined the look of Yuno. Why'd you cosplay her? We said we look like men. They said we look like men. It was crazy.
Yeah, but they don't do that to the vanilla people. They be like, you spot on.
I was just about to say, especially because I don't know all of it, we're seeing it more people targeting Asian people,
Mhm.
which makes me go, huh? That
They
being
just bored
said,
at this point.
they're targeting, and then they're the same people targeting Asian people, but they're the same people who be like, how can you cosplay Attack on Titan? How can you, cosplay, whatever anime? And I'm just like, they're not white either.
Right.
They're really not white either. What the fuck? Like, there's no white characters. Let's be real, there's no white characters in fucking anime. It's not. It's none. It's like a couple.
And there's no, and it's a work of fiction.
Right.
It's not even like historical fiction.
Yes, I
It's
real.
it's people fly.
Don't fly.
People
Okay.
turn
It's called
into
fucking imagination.
Right.
people turn into Super Saiyans by sitting there going like 10 minutes with the veins popping out just to make their hair turn blonde.
Mhm.
But y'all not pointing that shit out though, right? Y'all not pointing out that Susan don't really have green eyes and she got contacts in. That's not her real eyes, right? Do y'all point that out? Do y'all point out how she got extensions and tape-ins in the bottom of her shit? But y'all don't point that out, but you want to point out my braids because I got weave in it's weave. But they got tape-ins. But okay, that's another conversation though.
Oh my god.
Y'all
Yeah.
don't point shit out like that though. That's not the same eye color. That's not the same hair color or something like that. But they want to point out I got hair in my head or something like that. I'm like, but your favorite cosplayer got hair in their head. They just don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
They don't.
Well,
They got them tape-ins and shit.
but not for nothing, but also especially with some of the anime that my kids watch, especially like Dragon Ball, I'm like, I don't know anybody's hair that does that. The like all the angular points and stuff like that. I remember getting the wig for my son, and I was like, how does this even happen? With all the like,
Yeah, but let us point that out and be like, you don't have pointy hair. You're not the character.
and
That's
I'm like,
fucking stupid.
I mean, are y'all using are y'all using Gorilla Glue to make your hair do that?
Not the Gorilla Glue.
Not the Gorilla Glue.
Not the Gorilla Glue. No.
Not the Gorilla Glue, no.
Sorry,
No.
I had to go there because I always got to go for the comedy. Always for the comedy.
Yeah, it's for the comedy.
So now my next point that I want to touch on is there a formula to how we represent ourselves with a sense of empowerment? with our regalness? Is there a specific way? Is there a way that you would say to some younger cosplayers, especially women, young ladies coming into it? Is is there a formula, a checklist that you would say for them presenting themselves? Because people tend to forget, just because you're in a costume, in a cosplay, you're still a human being. So what would you say to young women who want to put themselves out there at a con on Instagram? What would you say to them? Who wants to jump in first? Please do.
Okay, so first I would say find out why or determine why you want to start cosplaying, for one thing. Like, do you want to do it because it looks fun? It makes you feel confident. And two, also just making sure that you understand that there are other forms of cosplay.
Mhm.
There's the more adult side. There's also the ones that are, like more playful. You don't have to wear like more revealing clothing to be liked and accepted by other people.
Mhm.
And also to do it because you want to and not to look for validation from other people. That would be the other thing that I would say. And what else? And just also make sure that whatever it is that you are, whatever kind of content that you want to put out on social media or whatever type of cosplay that you want to do, make sure that you're comfortable doing it. Also understand the intention, the purpose of what you're trying to promote, what kind of message that you're sending. And I mean, and just understand that, I mean, not slut shaming or victim blaming or anything like that. But if you are deciding that you want to do the more adult themed cosplays, just understand that there are going to be some people that are not as mature or developed mentally to understand that that is just one aspect of persona that you are showing, and that you're probably might get some sexually explicit messages, some penis pics on the way, all kinds of good stuff.
Karina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I would ask what the motivation would be, because I know, I like you all, I've seen an influx of um cosplaying, and I use the air quotes because a lot of it I question, is that really cosplay though? But I've seen a lot of it just kind of recently starting to, just because let's be real, like the weebdom, and people are seeing how much money can be made from anime products. Weeb spend a lot of money on their stuff, and mainstream is really starting to see that. So a lot of people are trying to hop in, and they're trying to want to make money off of that, and I get that. But I would ask, what would be the motivation behind you really wanting to do this? Is this a passion project? Is this something that you've always wanted to do but kind of haven't had the confidence, or the you didn't know where to start? Because I know I've been into costumes, I've done theater, I was a theater geek for the longest time, and wanted to be out in New York, struggling artist, but I didn't have the confidence to step out on faith and to do that.
Yeah.
Theater, makeup, all of that good stuff. And when the opportunity presented itself here now for me to do this, it just kind of felt like now is my time to do this. So I would ask, what's motivating you to want to do this? And I would also ask, get yourself a mentor, somebody who you would want to emulate, somebody who you can talk to, somebody who you can bounce ideas off of, and somebody who can check you and be like, wait a minute, what is going on? Like, is that something you really should be doing? Should you really be doing that? Because there's a lot of, I think, especially in today's society, people don't have that one person that can really check them anymore. That bestie, that buddy, like, relationships are so artificial now. They don't really last the gung ho, and you don't have anybody who put you in place when you wrong. Like, honey, you shouldn't have did that. But you don't got nobody in your corner who can tell you. You be like, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? You know what I mean? So that would be another thing I would tell somebody, like, get you that mentor, and don't be scared to reach out. A lot of nice people out there will be so willing to take you under their wing and to show you the ropes and to give you that guidance that you need so you can safely go out and do what it is that you want to do and share your gift with the world. And your gift might not just be the model portion of cosplaying. You could have a gift for special effects makeup. You could have a gift for wig making. You could have a gift for nail art. Like, there's so many other aspects. You don't just have to jump to the tits and ass part of it just because that's relatively available. Play around in different areas so you can really find out what your craft is. You could be a fabricator and you could be making stuff for props for people and for people to sell. But because you drove straight into just showing the tits and ass part, is anybody going to take you serious when you down the road really find out what it is that you really want to be doing? If you had just taken the 2 seconds to stop and think and have that self-reflective moment with yourself to find out, what is it about this that's really attracting me, and where should I really start? You know what I mean? Like, those would probably be conversations that I would have, because that was something that I would have wanted someone to tell me.
Mm-hmm. I thoroughly hear you. And
I would tell a cosplayer person that's looking to get started into it to be true to yourself, have fun with it. I usually just say, like, the minute it doesn't become fun anymore, then it's not worth it. So be in it for a reason that it's a nice hobby. And even if you want it to escalate or be to like something bigger, that's fine, but just have fun with it.
right.
Yeah.
Krista?
And I'm gonna piggyback off her. Yeah, just have fun with it. That's the number one thing. Don't take it too seriously, but if you want to make it a career, make it a career, but make it a career, but don't peer pressure other people to make it a career. You get what I'm saying? Everybody has their own path. You know, you can't make everybody be the top cosplayer. I'm not trying to be top cosplayer. I'm just a nerd. I love anime and I love movies. I love movies. Y'all don't even understand how much I love movies, but I love movies. But you know, that's what I'm in it for. Let me just start off like that. I'm in it for because I feel like, you know, it brings me confidence. And I think it's cool that you can be a perspective of somebody else. I think that's such a cool idea, just to have the perspective of their costume, their wig, or how they act, the quirks, or what they say. You know, I feel the character itself. It's not even about the costume and the prop making for me, but it's just about the character itself and how it's drawn. Because like I said, I look from an animation aspect more, but that's why I really haven't dived into cosplaying the way I wanted to, because I just love the look. I just love the look and how it feels to do it, because I'm a different person than what I can be. You know what I'm saying? I'm multiple personalities basically, you know, and I can be anybody who I want to be, you know, and it makes you feel giddy and it makes you feel like a kid again. You know, I know some people, I know we didn't really touch on it, but a lot of people call it childish too. And it's not even just sexually. They say it's childish and it brings a youth to it. That's probably why I look like 16 and I'm 26, you know, it brings a youth to it. And I'd be surprised with some ladies and they'd be like, oh, I'm 35. And I'm like, ain't no way, you know, because they love cartoons. So that's another thing that I just wanted to throw that in there. Yeah. But yeah, with cosplaying, yes, I feel like it's a confidence thing. It's an attention thing. If you feel like you need the attention, you know, if you feel like you want the drive to do it, you know, don't think about it. And I had to learn that myself, because I had that bad problem. I still have this problem to this day. Like, I still have to validate everything. Like, I have to be like, baby, this cosplay look okay? Like, oh shit, nah, I'm just gonna delete it. Like, I have that problem now because I have 5 cosplays of thumbnails just sitting in there, and I'm just scared to put them out there because I'm like, I don't know what I want perspective I want first. You feel what I'm saying? So that's, and take it step by step too, because see how I'm taking a step of, I'm stepping up my game with my gaming shit first. Once I get that, you know, all in order, then I'll go back to the store. You know, take your time. Don't try to do 30 fucking things at once. Like slow down, put it in a plan, put it organized, schedule yourself. Don't put the pressure on you, don't have that weight on your shoulder that you don't need. You're throwing the boulder yourself if you're doing that shit. So
right. And I would say to, encompass everything is that do it because you enjoy it, but also understand the why. And especially because there's something that happens when you're at a con, when you see somebody who's cosplayed from the same show or, the same comic book or whatever, and you're just like, there's that moment of, hey, how you doing? Hey, there's that. And there's the two people cosplay as the same thing, and there's still that, hey, you like her too, or,
yeah.
Whereas I think on platforms such as the Instagram and the TikTok and stuff like that, it's a different kind of gratification and a different kind of validation. And I would say you have to ask yourself, what is the validation you are seeking? Are you seeking the validation of, oh my gosh, you watch this show and you love it too? Great, we love it. Or is it the validation of, I need the sexual validation? And if you do need that validation, nobody's telling you no. But there are arenas for that. And that's just something you've got to look at for yourself. Because here is one thing that I have learned, and it is the internet is forever. People that Snapchat, trust me, they can find what you put on Snapchat. There are screen grabs. That is why so many of these politicians say something, do something stupid, and then they're like,
called out.
There's the Snapchat of their
out,
Twitter.
Canceled, demolished, all that.
I'm like, so that's why I'm like, because we are in the society that we are in. We are not in the naked going pickles yet society. We are still in a society that views women in a specific way, views Black women more so in a specific way. Hold that thought one second.
Mama.
Mama, look, please. She got the finger and everything.
Yes, I love it.
Yes, mom. Mom first. I love it.
Sorry about that.
Oh my God, I love it.
At least I was good. I muted it this time. But yeah, I just say that for the beautiful spirits that we are, and to not lose that innate, beautiful quality that is within us, because everything else outside of the world will try to break us, will try to break it. And yes, we need to support each other, but we also have to take responsibility for ourselves and how we present ourselves to the world, because we do not live in a silo. We live in a world where there's a screen grab. We live in a world where, for some reason, the other person at the computer or on the phone thinks they can say whatever it is to you. They think they have that right. They want to say freedom of speech. And I'm like, not in a private conversation.
The freedom of this ass whooping too.
You
So
may
don't
have,
call the cops saying it's freedom, right? All
you
right.
may have freedom of speech. You do not have freedom of consequences.
Tell it.
So on that note, I am going to bring us to a close. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, for joining me for this. Thank you so much for having this conversation. This is not the end of the conversation. I do want the other side. I want to understand the women that do the adult content. I want to know what makes it tingle for you.
Oh, that's gonna be
You know,
juicy.
what
Yeah,
makes
I want to see that too.
what
I want to
what
see that too.
what makes it, put your head held high. You know, I want to know all that. And I also want to know your through line. I want to know your end game of this. I want to know because, and yes, I know I tend to say this a lot. I'm going to be 52 years old in May. I'm old school.
Woo!
I want to know. I want to know from people of different ages because I know how I was brought up. I'm first generation American. My mother's from the Caribbean. There's a whole different other set of rules for us. So I want to know. I want to know from all of you so that we can, one, we can keep the conversation going, and two, we can change the narrative so that if we do choose to put it out there, that somebody doesn't think they could send us a DM or send a message saying, why don't you do this?
Mhm.
How do we get to the point where that doesn't happen? That being said, this is Real Women of Cosplay with Divas on a Dime. Please say your names once again.
Kendra and Christy.
Thank you. And half of Geek Chic Cosmetics
Tina.
and the majestical Cosplay Ann
And
Just saying.
and the prettiest otaku.
It's Cristal, you know what I'm saying? Christy. You know, that's why it's personal.
She's like, it's Krista. That's who I am. I am Krista.
You know, Cristal.
And I am Real Woman of Cosplay. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you got something out of it. And if you disagree with anything we've said, let's have a conversation. Let's do it. Let's have the conversation. That's how it works. Different points of view. They don't all have
Yes.
to match. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. So on that note, if you're not getting a vaccine, still wear that, wash your hands, stay socially distant until this thing is gone. Much love to all of you. Ladies, don't go away. I'm just going to stop the recording. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Real Women of Cosplay, Sexuality versus Sensuality, a discussion.
Bye.
Bye.